Hello, today I'm going to show you how to set up an alerting system with Grafana so that if something happens, if an event happens that you specify, you're going to be notified. And I'm going to use Telegram for my notifications, but you can set it up as email or whatever you prefer. But I'm going to show you how to do it with Telegram. So yeah, it's a good thing to have. You can just be anywhere and you don't have to watch your monitor all the time thinking what's going on. You can just set up an alerting system, then if something happens you get alerted, then you can go fix the problem. And or maybe it's not even a problem, but anyway, you get alerted for when something happens. For example, if your memory usage is very high, or if your disk space is running low, or if the block height hasn't changed in a long time, meaning that the node is stuck or something else. But things like that, always good to have. So let's get started. So I made two queries here just to use as an example later on. But first we need to go to the alerting tab, and then we need to set up a notification channel. That's the first thing we need to do. So I have my alerts set up from before, and a notification channel for them, but you're gonna need to create a new one. So well, if you don't have a channel, you're gonna have to create a new one, and I'm just gonna call this video test. And so here's the type. Here you pick the type, and as I said, I'm gonna use Telegram, but you can use all of these things. I didn't look into how to set up each one. Probably there's a bit of different setup for each one, but for Telegram, we're gonna use a Telegram bot um, to send us the notifications. And here you can set it as default. I set it on default on my previous one, so I guess I don't have to set it here to default. And yeah, these things send additional reminders after alert is triggered. I mean, you can select these if you want, look into them. I'm just gonna leave them blank. But now what we need is the Telegram bot. So we need to get an API key, an API token for the bot, and we need to create a chat with the bot and then give it the chat ID. So let's do that next in Telegram. So to create a bot in Telegram, we go to our Telegram and we look for father bot, which is the father of all bots. And now you have to be careful. Obviously, there's fake ones or whatever. You need the one. Okay, it's not father bot, it's bot father. So at bot father, and that's the handle. That's the bot. You find him, you click start, and then it's going to give you the options. And we just want to create a new bot. So it's asking us for a name, and I'll do Grafana alerts video. Good. Okay, now we need to choose username. So okay, so one of those is the handle, one of those is the actual name. It must must end with bot. So and it has to be lowercase bot. No. So yeah, I was sorry, I was editing the message. instead of sending a new one. So Grafana alerts video bot, and there we go. So it gives us the API key, and obviously you see this key, and anyone who has the key can control the bot. So just be careful, and store it somewhere in a file or on wherever you want. But this is the key, okay? So we can paste that into Grafana, and now we need to get the chat ID. So for that we'll need to create a new channel and invite the bot into the channel. So we will create a new channel. We'll call it Grafana alert team. I don't need the description. We'll put it as a private channel and save. And now we want to invite our bot, so we call it Grafana alert king video. We'll do Grafana alert bot. Alert video. Okay, I forgot what I called it. Grafana alerts video bot. So we go add members. Grafana alerts video bot. Yeah, that's our bot. Okay, we add it. We have to make it admin as well. So it's only going to let you add it if you make it admin, but you have to make it admin anyway. Now you can give it permissions. I don't really care about this, but I would just leave post messages. I mean, you don't need it to do anything else really. And there we go. Now we have a channel with the bot, and we'll have to type in a message because otherwise it won't show us the chat ID. We have to type a message in there, because if we don't, I guess the chat is considered as non-existing yet. So now to get the chat ID, we have to use this link. So API Telegram org and a bot, and then our bot token, and then get updates. Okay, so the link is working, but we're not getting anything. We're not getting the chat ID here, and I don't know why right now. Log in. And there we go. Maybe it just takes some time. I don't think you need to send 2 messages. You just need to wait a little bit. So this is our ID. So ID, and copy it with the minus, and you also have it here. So I guess for each message you have the ID, and it's the same one. So the chat ID is here, and now we can send a test to see if it will work. Send a test, and you hear that sound, and there it is. There's the test. So the bot is working with Grafana, and we can proceed to set up our alerting system. So I'll hit save here, and that's our notification channel created. And now we can set up some rules for our alerting system. So I'll use the disk usage first to the auto refresh was off. I was confused there. I thought my server died. So I'm going to use the disk usage to give you an example of the alert actually working. and then I'm gonna configure like the last block height, which I think is a good good alerting system to have. Like if it hasn't changed, then the node is stuck, or something's going on with the network, and you get alerted. It's a pretty useful one, but the disk usage, it's also important, but I can use the value I have here and just set up an alert below that value, so it just triggers and we can confirm that our system is working. So to add an alert, you edit the panel, and then you have your query here, and you go to the alert tab, and you note only panels set up as graphs will have the option of alerts. So if I choose stat here, or whatever I choose, nothing is going to have the alert tab here except graph. So you have to make these panels as graphs in order to use the alerts. So we go to create an alert, and then we give it a name. We evaluate it every 1 minute. I'm gonna put like every I don't know, 1 second here. And now this 4 can be useful. So what it means is that if an alert is triggered, the first time it's triggered, it's going to set its status to pending. And I think there's an explanation here. And so while the alert is not triggered, the status is called OK, as in everything's fine. And then once the alert is triggered, it's going to set to pending. And if it stays there for the amount of time you specify in the 4, then it's going to trigger the alert. So if you set this up as 5 minutes, then you're only going to get notified if the system stays in the alerting area for 5 minutes. So it can be useful for some things, but you can also just delete it, and then as soon as an alert event happens, you get notified. So I'm going to use that here, but later on I'll use the 4. And then you have the conditions. So when average, and you can specify which one you want here. You can even use difference, which is useful. I'm gonna use a last, so like last value. Here you specify which query. If you have multiple queries in the panel or something like that, so which query? This is query A, so I'm gonna use that one. And then 5 minutes, and now is like the time frame it's looking at. So I'm gonna put like 1 second, like just look at now, and if it's above, let's say, something that's below this value. So currently my disk usage is 34%. If it's like above 15%, then here is our alert value. If it ever goes over that, it's going to trigger the alert. Okay, if no data set to no data status, or you can set it to keep last state, or even alerting. If there's no data, alert me. So again, it's up to you. And here I'm gonna just testing Grafana alert for disk usage. And you can click the test rule here to see like which systems at the moment pass or fail the alert. So they should I mean, if it's true, it means the alert will be triggered. So this right now is true for every one of my servers, because the disk usage is above 15% on all of them, and you can see what it is. It's around 30, between 30 and 40. So let's say that this works, and now if we apply that, let's just check one more thing. Do we specify which channel will it use alert? I don't know. Okay, let's apply and then go to save dashboard. Okay, save. And here we can get the alert, but okay, there we go. Now it didn't use the channel we created. As you can see, it used my Eden Grafana monitoring, which is what I created before. But and that's because I set the CNO notifications, my that's the Eden Grafana monitoring Telegram, to be default. So every alert will go to here. So we confirmed that the alert works, and now we can set up one more for the. So the red line is when the alert was triggered. I think there's a green line when it the green dashed line, vertical one, is when things go back to OK status. The orange one is when the alert is first triggered but the status is pending, so there's a 4. And the red one is then at that time, so this is the exact time when we got our notification sent. So for this one, for the Cardano last slot height, I'm going to use 4 here. I'm going to say evaluate every 1 minute, or evaluate every, I don't know, 20 seconds. And I'm going to use for 1 minute, let's say. So if the block height doesn't change in 1 minute, I want to be notified. The query is still labeled A, and now I'll use the difference. So if the difference between 5 minutes and now, but I'm going to use less than 5. I'll use 1 minute and now as well. So it is not above but is below. So if it's below 1, it means it hasn't changed. And yeah, that should be it. So evaluate every 20 seconds for if it stays in that pending status for 1 minute. If it doesn't change for 1 minute, then alert me. And what we are looking at is when the block slot height hasn't changed in 1 minute, and it should change like 3 times in a minute on average. So so that's fine, and we type a message here, node is stuck or problem with network, whatever you decide, and we can test the rules, and it evaluates the false everywhere because the nodes are syncing, everything's fine with the network. So you see the type of values we get around 60. So one slot is 1 second, so 1 minute, 60 seconds, 60 slots. It's gonna be around that time. And yeah, that's it. We just apply that and save the dashboard, and there we have it. Now it takes some time for this alert to start working, but that's about it. I could trigger it by killing my node or something like that, but I don't want to do that. So I showed you that the trigger works on the disk usage, and I set this one up for the last block height. And see, we have the green now. This is when we activated the alerting, and the alerting is green. So if the block doesn't change, it's going to switch to orange, and then if it stays in orange for 1 minute, it's going to send an alert, or it's going to go back to green if the node starts syncing again. So there you have it. Those are alerts in Grafana. I hope it will be helpful, and I hope it will give you an ease of mind when running your nodes. I don't think there's anything else to this. So thank you for watching, and good luck setting up, getting delegators, and producing blocks.